Mr. Ratam Nigam, political analyst, is joining us on the program. Syed Asad Abbas, political analyst, is joining us from Bangalore. Rajalakshmi Joshi, author and political commentator, is also here. Rajalakshmi Joshi, the Karnataka Home Minister, has given a little information that we are flashing on our screens as well, that Soundarya was battling post-pregnancy depression, and that is a phenomena that women usually go through. There is counseling involved, but the fact here is that the environment and COVID-19 and the lockdown and the situation with the pandemic is probably making all of this a lot worse than it already is, Rajalakshmi.
Yes, Vineet. I totally agree with everything that Dr. Syed Abbas was just saying. And this is such an unfortunate incident because in spite of the fact that she belongs to such a reputed family and with all the education and the affluence, all of that. In spite of that, obviously there must have been something lacking there. So all in all, I would say that no amount of education, no amount of money or affluence, that doesn't actually convert to say maybe a good mental state or happiness. And I would also not jump to conclusions before the postmortem is concluded, because we are still not aware of what exactly transpired and what exactly happened, because in the past we have seen some cases where people have really jumped to conclusions, and we have made all kinds of statements. But I would take this as maybe an opportunity to say that this issue of post pregnancy, that depression that women go through, a lot of them, I wouldn't say all, but because this is it is a stage where women go through a lot of changes in their lifestyle, in their physically and emotionally, and even the society. Everybody has to understand the drastic changes that a woman goes through in that time. Suddenly she has to take on additional responsibilities now, especially during the COVID. A lot of people, we have to not only take care of ourselves, our families, and she being a doctor, she also must have had to take a lot of precautions, considering she has a young baby. So my heart goes out to the young baby and the entire family, and my heartfelt condolences to them, because I'm sure that they can't even imagine what the child will go through in the coming days. And I really wish that she would have reached out, if she was going through some depression. I really wish she would have reached out, because society in general, there is some kind of a taboo where we don't really speak out what is bothering us. Even if there are some family problems, I think there should be this an open way of discussion, so that problems are sorted out. It's only when you recognize that there is a problem that you can actually achieve a solution. So without admitting or without accepting that there are problems, we cannot come to any solutions. So it is very necessary for people to reach out and to say that we are facing certain problems, and there are some issues. So I'm not particularly saying that she was going through all this. I'm just saying that in general, women in particular, especially after pregnancy, need to reach out to people, and that is exactly why we have had this system of where women stay in their mother's house after pregnancy for a certain period, so that they get a little more comfortable. But then at the same time, what happens is there are certain gaps, or a little communication gap between the couple at certain times, due to this ritual of maybe staying at the parents' house. So there are a lot of complicated issues, which the only way of sorting out all this would be proper communication. So I think that society also needs to keep checking on everybody to make sure that everybody is fine. Now the communication devices have all increased, but then it has become a lack of communication really, because the whole world
Right.
kind of seems to know what is happening in your life, but then most of it is it is a kind of perception that we put on social media that necessarily not, doesn't mean that everybody is fine. So I think it's a very unfortunate incident whatever happened, but let's not jump to conclusions, and I would wait for the post-mortem
Okay.
report.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, like we've heard from our panelists, that we will wait for the results and the report of the postmortem to come out before it can be concluded definitely whether it was a suicide or not. But prima facie, the police have gone on to say that it looks like that, but there is no certainty at this point in time. It does appear to be a case of depression, something which in itself is a pandemic of sorts.